when I think about this idea of heaven, if we do have a relationship with Jesus, we can have heaven one day. And I love that. You know, one of my favorite stories is the story of the criminal on the cross. And, you know, when Jesus came and he died on the cross, he hung in between two criminals. And one of the criminals looked at him and said, hey, if you really are who you say you are, save yourself and save us. But see, there was this other criminal on the cross, and he actually looked to Jesus and said, Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. And I love this. In Luke 23:43, Jesus answered him, truly, I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise. And I love that idea. I love that idea of paradise, that idea of heaven. And when we think about that, it's like we can almost take a deep breath. In fact, right now, let's even you right now on your couch, let's breathe in and let's breathe out. And when we do that and when we think about this incredible heaven that's in store for us, all of a sudden it's kind of like, you know what, the weight lifts a little bit. And I love that the story of the criminal on the cross tells us that salvation can happen in a moment. And how incredible that Jesus said, today you are going to be with me in paradise. And when I think about this idea of how the criminal on the cross met Jesus and that day he was in paradise, I think that's an incredible story for the criminal on the cross. That's a comfort to me to know that in a moment I can have salvation. But I also started to think, what about you and I? Because for many of us, that's not our story as far as today you will be in paradise. Because we may have met Jesus and salvation may happen in a moment, but paradise and, you know, the idea of heaven is not right now. We're still in this thing called the middle. We're still in this middle, and what do we do when we're in the middle? What do we do when we're in the middle of a broken world? You know, what do we do when we're experiencing pain that still comes from that? You know, when I think about being in the middle, I think about, you know, what if we're still waiting on broken relationships to be healed? You know, maybe you're still waiting on a sickness to be healed, or maybe a loved one who is going through a sickness, and you're like, God, I'm still in the middle, and I'm still dealing with this pain. Or maybe you're hoping for this job, or you're hoping for God to provide for you financially, and you find yourself in the middle. And you know that you have salvation in the moment, but you're in the middle, so what do you do with that? And being in the middle is where we find ourselves. That's where we find ourselves asking or saying this question, it's not supposed to be this way. And I think that when we're in the middle, one of the most important things for us to remember is that God is in the middle with us. We serve a God who is in the middle with us. We are not alone. And, you know, I think that peace and joy can happen even in the middle. I love that we don't serve a God who's on the end, saying, hey, good luck in the middle, I'll meet you on the end. Instead, he says, I'm right here in the middle with you. And when I think about the idea that I have a God who is with me in the middle, all of a sudden, I feel like I can handle the things that are happening in the middle, even though it hurts, and even though it's hard, and even though I want to say, it's not supposed to be this way. I can say it to my Father in heaven, who is also right here in the middle with me. You know, his name is not I was. His name is not I will be. His name is I am. He's here. He's present. And I love Psalm 145, 18 and 19. It says, the Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. He fulfills the desires of those who fear him. He hears their cry and saves them. And right now, maybe today, what you need to hear is this. Maybe you're in the middle. Maybe you've been screaming, it's not supposed to be this way. And right now, maybe you just need to remember that you've got a God who is in the middle, and he's right here with you.